Hey friends, it's Awkwardly Random with Cynthia and Michelle, where we talk about random topics.
Anything and everything awkward is on the table, so let's dive right in.
Hey y'all.
Hi.
Welcome back
To
to another episode of Awkwardly Random.
with Cynthia and Michelle.
That's right, y'all. We are actually staying consistent this time.
For real.
So this is a very special episode.
We're excited.
We're very excited because we have a returning guest.
Yes.
A dear friend of mine who I've known since I think we were 5 when we met.
Babies.
We were in kindergarten when we met, and we're still friends to this day.
Woohoo!
I think that's a big accomplishment.
Anniversary soon.
For real. Anniversary.
For real.
Yeah, this is my friend Estefania.
Woohoo!
Welcome back.
Thanks for being back.
Yeah, excited. My voice is a little messed up because I'm getting over having a cold, so you have to forgive me.
Okay. You don't sound too bad though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound pretty good.
Yeah, and thanks for being on, even though you're not feeling too well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being on again. I remember the first time you came on the podcast, we talked about parenting.
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you being a first-time mom?
Mm-hmm.
Getting
And
harder.
Does it get easier at all?
No, I'm definitely listening back to it and trying to take my own advice.
Okay.
Oh,
Sometimes it's hard to take your own advice.
Mm-hmm.
I
actually-
can attest to that.
yeah. I've actually heard people who've listened to that and found it really informative, but also very entertaining. They said that you were really funny.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You are very
Mhm.
funny.
Thank
So,
you.
how have you been since the last time we talked? What you've been up to?
Yeah.
Tell us, spill the tea.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a while. I've tried to stay alive. Definitely just
Same.
working and Jaisleen's playing soccer.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And we had a house renovation in our kitchen that we decided to DIY.
Ooh.
That took a lot more time than anticipated.
How long
Ended
did
up
it take
taking,
you?
for sure a month. But
Oh,
we were doing
wow.
this in the spare time. We were still
Yeah.
working full time, so only doing little bits and pieces every day. And
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the kitchen, so it's the one place we're always at, and all of a sudden it's
Mhm.
gone.
Yeah.
And, we found ourselves with very bad eating habits for a couple of weeks because
Mhm.
stove wasn't working. We had the dishwasher out, and it
Oh,
was
wow.
we gotta really just nail this down and get it done because it was
Yeah.
you get tired of fast food. You really do.
Yeah.
People say that and you're like, what? It's delicious. I love it. No. After a week, we only ate it once a day
Mhm.
for mostly dinner because we try to find other things to eat from the fridge, like cereal or, make
Right.
sandwiches, things like that didn't really require a lot of cooking. But I was like, oh gosh. But
So you had no stove? You had no stove? The
if
oven?
I wanted a stove, I would have to connect it and it'd be in the middle of the kitchen, or I would have to mess around with the paper that we had
Oh, yeah.
around
Wow.
the cabinets. And we were sanding for a week and a half, so there was sand everywhere. So I was always afraid sand's gonna get into the food, and then it's gonna be all chalky and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was just a hot mess whenever we wanted to do something in the kitchen.
Yeah. So
Wow.
did you finish that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Congrats.
I haven't sent you a picture. Have you seen pictures, Michelle?
No, I
I'll
haven't.
have to send you the before and after. It was a hideous green countertop that I was like, "So this?"
Yeah.
So was it worth it? Are you happy with the final product?
Yes, I am
Nice.
very happy. I
Yeah.
really like how it turned out. So
Good.
Yeah. That's really good.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool to be able to do that. That's your own home, right? And so you're
yeah,
making the changes that you need to make it your home.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool that y'all did
I
that.
agree. Mhm.
right after we got done, he's like, "What?" Lisa was like, "What about the bathroom?" I'm like, "Wait a minute."
Next project.
Yeah, we need to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a little break. Let's enjoy this, and then we'll talk about the next project
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's exciting though.
So you were definitely busy with that. You're working.
Yep, working. It's definitely been crazy and crazier. I'm sure everybody listening somehow is affected by
Yeah.
the unemployment and
Right.
like low labor shortages. And I was recently even more impacted because my supervisor put in her notice. So now it's like, oh shit. We haven't hired anybody for her job. And since I was like her backup for everything, now I'm kind of doing, probably 2/3 of her job plus my job. So now I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Someone hired
That's a lot.
because there's a lot to do. Yeah.
Yeah. You better be getting paid more for doing that extra work.
It's only temporary.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
still.
I'll do this for a month. But if I start to see that it's gonna be like a prolonged time, then I'm definitely gonna say something.
I was gonna ask you for sure. You know that it's temporary. Like, do you know exactly that it's gonna be a month? What if it's longer?
So they do have a couple candidates already that they're going to start interviewing this week and next week. So
Well, that's
feeling
good.
hopeful. Yeah. Otherwise, I will be like, I can't do this forever. If I can, then we had to change some things around.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I know you did CrossFit.
Yeah.
Which we will get into.
We're gonna get into it
because I definitely want to learn more about it. I've heard of it and I've seen, like, I was watching some YouTube videos to like get to know more about it, but I really don't. I have very minimal knowledge. So we'll get into that. Mish, how have you been? I mean, I have no like updates. So
same.
We're always like, we're just busy with work.
No, I don't have any updates, just working. But I know my I went to like an event this past weekend with Jesus. We can talk about it another time, but that was just something different. And then I know some of my law school friends are coming to visit this weekend coming up. So
cool.
Just planning out some things to do. So that's pretty much it. So I do have things to look forward to. Finally, I feel like. But that's it with me, just working. What about you, Beans?
Yeah, same. Working. I did go to a Fleetwood Mac drag dinner.
I was gonna ask you about that. How was it?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was at the Macy's on State Street, in downtown Chicago, and I'd never been there, but it's like the building is huge. I think it's like 10 floors or something, and it was in this. I don't even know how to describe it. This like dining hall room thing, and they had a fountain in the center, and the tables were around the fountain, and then we had different performers, and it was all Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks music. So it was really fun, and then the food was really good, and we had some drinks.
Sounds fun.
So it was a good time. It was a good time.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I wanted to go to that.
Yeah, they do other ones. I think they're gonna have a Hocus Pocus one. I believe the weekend of Halloween. Well, I'll have to confirm, but yeah, I think they have like different ones throughout the year. Possibly, don't quote me on it. But it was fun, and I'm a fan of Fleetwood Mac, so I'm like, yeah, we gotta go. So yeah, it was a good time. But other than that, just working, watching Squid Game.
Oh yeah. We need to talk about that.
That's gonna be a whole other
we need
episode probably. But yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get into our awkwardly random question or questions. So I guess we're just gonna go back from the last episode, and we wanted to ask you, Estefania, are you a morning or a night shower?
And there's a right and a wrong answer, just so you know.
But before, Cynthia and I wanted to guess.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I obviously don't know you since that long, so I feel like Cynthia will get this right. But I think that you are a morning shower.
Watch me be the one to get this wrong. Okay, I personally think it's changed for you. I don't know, right? I'm not a creep. I promise. But I feel like you like CrossFit has turned you into a morning shower. I don't know. This is just my guess. But I would have thought maybe earlier on that you'd be a night shower. I don't know if that really answered the question. I'm just going to go with night. With night.
My guess has nothing to do with anything. I just was like morning.
So Cindy was like on the right track.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
So I definitely used to be a night shower because I hate getting up early in the morning. Like for me, like why am I wasting my life getting up early? You know, like this was before. But yeah, kind of going into CrossFit, it's like definitely made me like a little bit more of a morning person. Well, not made me, because I'm still not a morning person, but it's like forced me to do these habits in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny though, because if I miss a morning shower and it starts to get, this is gonna sound really nasty, but it starts to get like too late. In my mind, I'm like, well, I'm getting up early to go exercise tomorrow. So if I shower now, I'm wasting that water because then I'm still gonna come back tomorrow morning and I'm gonna need another shower. So then maybe I'll wait until tomorrow. So it becomes like a little like mind game with myself. Like, okay, if I do this and that, and then wait, but then I got tomorrow morning to think of.
You're saving the planet.
For real,
You're watching out for the earth by not wasting all that water.
Yep. But
I got you. So in a sense, we were both right.
Yeah.
Yay! Okay.
No, there can't be a tie, Michelle.
Yes, there can be.
What about you two?
I am a night shower. I feel like I can't go to bed with like wearing the day. I feel like I'm bringing the day with me into my clean sheets. That's me, right? And then also, I just don't like getting up and showering in the morning. It's not pleasant for me. But I'll do it if I have to.
I'm a morning shower. I just like getting up in the morning, and I don't know, just like washing my body, and like it wakes me up, and I don't know, I feel refreshed. I mean, sometimes I do take a shower at night. It depends on like how early you have to get up, and if I don't feel like I can get up early enough, then I'll just take a shower at night. But most of the times it's in the morning.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people that say that do the morning showers, is that it wakes them up or they feel refreshed and ready to go about their day.
I mean, I still feel tired and like trying to still wake up, but at least like I look like I'm like I have it together, even though I may not internally.
See, it's a mind game, like you said, Estefania. It's just a mind game.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to our second question.
Yeah.
What is a hidden talent that you have that nobody knows about, and that you'd be comfortable sharing on this show today?
And by talent, we don't mean like we don't just only mean like singing or dancing, all these things, right? We mean like just anything that you can do that nobody knows about.
Yeah. So probably the one thing I can think of, and this is like a really weird way that I found out in elementary school, is I can like shake my eyeballs really fast.
I've seen it. She can do it really fast.
So I don't know how I can do it on camera, but I don't know how much you'll actually be able to see. But like, you know, like it kind of like goes back and forth.
Oh, I saw it. How do you do that?
I don't know. Like, you know, it's just something that you just like. I'm like, I can also wiggle my ears too, back and forth.
Your ears?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
like no, I
just see you like.
I know
your cheeks. Can you do the thing with your eye with both eyes, or is it just one?
It's both. Yeah.
Both. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about you?
I feel like that'd be more creepy.
I run around like scaring kids, just like doing that.
Yeah,
I know.
I feel like it'd be more creepy if it was just one eye.
It'd
be one fancy ass wink.
For real. What about you, Beans?
Let's see, a talent that nobody knows about.
Yeah. Or maybe very few.
I can bend my
You're really good with instruments. Yeah,
thank you. Although that's not really.
Yeah, you
do. Is that a hidden talent? Yeah, it's my little secret. I don't know. I can do this.
What does that mean?
You're like, that's no talent. I could do that too. Wait, you can do it probably more than I can.
I think she means that her thumb can go backwards a lot, like in a weird like point. I can't
Instead
do
of
that.
like this, it just like goes like that.
Like it has like a
like
weird
this.
arch. I can't do that. Like I literally, this is as much as I can go back, and it's just straight. Like if I go more, it would break.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I didn't mean like give a thumbs up, but more so like, what is that? I like how you copied me and said, what does this mean? Yeah. I can bend it back.
I'm sure you can do other things,
say.
Beans. I just don't think you're thinking of anything.
I had one and then I lost it. It's like I could do this.
Okay, sorry. I'm just
I love your reaction. That was great.
Oh my gosh. There's a hot.
Okay, stop. I'll let you think. I can do mine. Wait,
so mine didn't count? That counts. Okay. We're gonna make it count.
Okay, show us again. Okay, pues we'll count it. Comment below if you think that's a hidden talent.
Yeah, we need to know. What does the audience think? Is that considered talent?
Okay. Mine also has to do with
a bunch of no's.
Someone's gonna give me a yes.
Everyone's gonna comment like this on the comments.
I know,
thumbs
right?
up.
The thumbs up.
Yeah. Mine also has to do with my thumbs, but
wow.
Mine goes like, so I don't know if your thumbs can do this, but they kind of like bend in from here.
Ooh, yeah, I can't do that. No.
You know what I mean? Like they go in.
Are you gonna ask her what that means?
I don't know what this means. Someone once told me it means I'm double jointed on my thumbs, but I don't think that that's what it means. But it literally, like, I can do this.
Oh my gosh. And you can do it with both hands.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know what that means, but I can do that. But I don't think that's a talent. That's just something my body can do that I can't explain.
So are we counting it or not?
I'm counting it.
Well, we're gonna count it. We're gonna count it. Oh, that was funny.
That was hilarious.
What does that mean? All right. Thank you for answering our awkwardly random questions. They have zero. They have nothing to do with the actual conversation today. But that was the point. So we appreciate you for playing with us that little game. So as I mentioned before, we got into the awkwardly random questions that you did CrossFit recently. And so we definitely want to learn about how that was for you. But I know that there's a lot of people, including myself, that don't know a lot about it. Or maybe there's people that haven't even heard of it before. So how would you describe CrossFit to someone who doesn't really know about it or hasn't even heard of it before?
So it like really is a high intensity training. Like HIIT workouts is probably people are more familiar with that. It's like really repetitive, quick cardio, including weights. So the word CrossFit really is just like a branded fitness regimen. It's not like the actual type of workout. It's just like what the what's his name? I can't remember his name. I was looking up his name just to make sure I have it. Now I forgot. But the guy that invented it is like, he just branded it as CrossFit. So that's what it's called. But the exercises done within CrossFit are exercises a lot of people have probably heard of. You know, they use dumbbells, they use barbells, body weights, some cardio, the like a rowing machine. If people have heard of those, you sit on a little thing, you're like pulling like you're rowing.
Yeah.
So what they do is they end up creating WODs, which is workout of the day. And it tells you you're going to do 15 squats, you're going to do 5 push presses and, run for 40 meters. So that's an example of what a workout would be. And you do that, but you would do that, let's say 5 rounds, and you have a certain amount of time to do it. So it's different every day, and it could be something where you're able to choose the intensity, because I think that's what like most people are like really afraid of. It's like, I can't do any of that. But the really cool thing about CrossFit is that it's able to like scale down those workouts, where if you've never lifted a barbell, they'll find something to replace a certain movement so you're more comfortable with it.
That's nice.
So is CrossFit so I've heard, I know HIIT, like high intensity, what interval training? I
Interval
think is what
training,
it's, yeah. So CrossFit is like a culmination of all those exercises into
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah. So another way to think about it too is it's not going to make you the very best at weightlifting, but
Okay.
you'll have the general idea of it. It's not going
Got it.
to make you the fastest person in the world, but you're going to have endurance to be able to play with those people, you know, if that makes sense.
Mm. So how did you learn about CrossFit? Like what got you interested in it and how did you get involved?
So it was actually through a coworker when I was working, what was it, 4 years ago at this point? He was doing it just at the Y, and I was also just going to work out, but of course it's so hard for me to go and work out and like keep up with it because I'm like, what do I do now? Kind of get bored and I can't motivate myself. And he was like, you should really give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
They do like a free class just so you can try it. And I was like,
Oh,
I might
cool,
as well. So I
Mhm.
did, and I actually really liked it, and I just
That's
kept going.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of those things that I was just like introduced into, and
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I've been doing it for 3 years now.
Wait, really? It's been 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, I mean, with the pandemic, I
Gosh.
probably took off about 6 months because like everything was closed, like even the YMCA.
Mhm.
That's where I go and take the classes.
Right, right.
It closed, so I didn't go for a few months during that time. But like, I guess if we weren't to consider that, it's been almost 3 years.
Okay.
Mm.
Wow, I didn't realize that went by really fast. I remember when you
Yeah.
first told me about it, I feel like it was just like, it was very recent.
And I would say the first like 8 months, I was probably not like super serious about it. I was just kind of going just to get a workout. You know, you go somewhere,
Right.
it makes you sweat, you feel like you worked out. That's your
Mhm.
kind of exercise of the week. But it hasn't been until about a year and a half ago that I've like taken it a little bit more serious. And
Mhm.
most recently, I think we might get into it a little bit more too, is I actually went to a competition. I
Right.
competed
Mm.
in a CrossFit workout with other
Mhm.
people here in the state of Wisconsin. So
That's
like
so cool.
it was really awesome to like think about when I first started, I could like barely do a push up and a pull up. And now that like the amount of weights that I'm lifting, I can do like different styles of pull ups. I'm
Wow.
able to like exercise
awesome.
for a long time during the day. It's just like,
Mhm.
I think that's like what I've seen as a benefit and that I've kept going.
Yeah.
Was that your first competition that you've been to, like participated in?
Yeah, that was the very first one. So I was very nervous. I was nervous peeing for the very first half of the morning.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
Understandably
oh my God.
so.
Yeah.
And I think the really cool thing about the whole competition, it was all female. So it
Oh,
was
cool.
only female teams. You had to do a team of 3. So it was you and 2 other people.
Mhm.
And you knew what the workouts were going to be months in advance. So you could actually
Oh.
train those specific workouts. So you kind of came ready for it. But there's like women who were like super young and looked super fit. There are women that were like in their 40s, 50s. They're called masters. They're over 45 years of age. There were teams that were over 45 years of age, you know, who don't look like your typical workout person, you know, aren't
Sure.
like super
Mhm.
buff. And so it was really cool to see that spectrum of like all the different types of people that can go in and be part of a team and do these workouts.
Yeah.
So you did this in teams. That's
Yeah,
how that works? Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
So depending on there was 4 total workouts that we had to do throughout the day. So one was like in a team, everybody would do a certain amount of movements, and then once you completed them, you had to do them again, and that would be considered 1 round, and then you would go again and do a round, and you would do as many of these movements as you could as a team within the allotted time period.
Okay.
And then whoever got the most amount of repetitions would end up winning, sort of say. And there was like other workouts where you had to complete all of these repetitions. Reps is what typically you would probably hear the most, reps.
Right.
And whoever got them done first would win. So depending on the workout, there's some that's for time, and then there's some that's as many repetitions as possible. So that's typically what most workouts for CrossFit will end up being. Either you're doing as many reps as you can for the allotted time, or they're telling you how many reps you have to do, and you have to do them as fast as you can.
Just to go off of that, so how did you said that they gave you the workouts ahead of time, months ahead of time before the competition. Did your training change going into the competition, or was it the same before?
What did it look like?
What did it look like before?
So the funny thing is, since it was the first one, I didn't really know that they were only going to set all the workouts, not all at once. So one of the workouts was given like 4 months in advance. The other one was like 3 months in advance. The other one was like 2 months. And then the last one was a little over a month and a half. So because I felt pretty comfortable with a lot of the workouts that were shown on the first exercise, I'm like, yeah, I'll sign up. And then they announced the second one, and I had already signed up, and you have to pay, and you don't get refunds. And there was pull-ups on there, and I was like, oh shit, I can't do pull-ups.
Fun stuff.
So I ended up having to like adjust my training to ensure that I was like doing enough workouts that would like help me with my arm strength and my upper body strength to get pull-ups, because I didn't want to show up and then be that one person who can't do pull-ups and everybody else is like just going crazy.
I can't do pull-ups.
I can't either.
I can't.
I don't think I can do half the workouts you do, if I'm honest.
Yeah. But that's the cool thing about CrossFit, right? Is that you don't need to be a pro or anything or have any experience. You can start at any level that you're at. Which I think is what's pretty cool about it.
And the fact that they can adjust things or certain workouts.
It's very like individualized.
As a team is we besides going to the class, because I was still going to the classes every day, and we would select one day every week to train as a team. So then all three of us would go in and we practice these workouts, kind of try to get like the timing right, positioning, like okay, you get here, I'm gonna go first, you go second, and then we do this to be able to get you to when the competition comes. It's all a little bit more of just like muscle memory that everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And then there was some days that we ended up doing like 3 of the workouts in like about an hour and a half, because we wanted to get through them. And that takes so much energy.
I bet.
I would go home and I would be like, I'm done. I'm going to rest for a little while. But it was super awesome that like every week we could see ourselves progressing, and like our times would get a little bit faster, or we were able to put up a little bit of weight. One of the things that I probably am not super in agreement with CrossFit is that they don't consider like height. So there's one of our teammates, she's shorter than me, so she was probably up to here. And one of the workouts was that we had to lift a 75-pound sandbag over a bar that's 55 inches tall. So the bar was like here to her.
Oh, wow.
So, she's like this tall, so she had to like find a way. We like practiced that a billion times.
Yeah.
So it definitely, even for her, at the end of the day when we completed the workout, she's like, oh my god, I did that. So it's just awesome to see everybody's like own amazement at themselves, being like, dang, I actually did it. Like I didn't think I could, and I did. I think that's one of the things that have like really stuck with me and why I continue to do it, because you do see the progress and you're like, oh my god, that I could do that. I didn't do that a month ago, and now I can.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow, that's
strong,
so cool.
bodies,
for real.
Bodies can do a lot.
Yeah. And I think one of the like misconceptions too is like when people think CrossFit or like bodybuilding, they think of like these like super buffed out like women or men that like are all muscle, and everybody's a little bit different, and you're training your body to look how you want it, but that's not always the case. There could be many different body types that could still be doing like heavy lifting, and that doesn't mean that you're creating these like huge muscles. It just a lot of it could be for endurance or stamina, which is health reasons, like people are doing this, it's for their health, for their fitness. It's not necessarily because they want to become these like muscle geeks that go to those shows that you probably are more familiar with and think about when you hear workouts or
if I may ask, for you, what was your reasoning for doing it? Or like, did you go each week going into it with a specific goal, right? Like this week I want to lift this much, or beat this time, or how did that look for you?
For me, it was definitely for like some aspects. What I ended up doing is for different types of lifts, I would record how much I could do. So it's called your max rep. So how much weight is your like absolutely max that you can't, like you physically and mentally can't after this. So I write all those down as we're doing workouts. And then about like a month or two later, and this is in general, when we do that lift again, I see that I'm able to do 5 or 10 pounds more than I did.
Cool.
So those are my goals that I'm working towards, is like seeing those weights like increase throughout weeks and months.
That's
and even
cool.
my time
That's badass.
too. Like the rowing, I hated rowing.
Was that your least favorite?
It was my least favorite, and now I end up beating some of the guys that are a lot taller than me.
Nice.
By rowing, and if you have ever seen a rower, your advantage is if you're tall, because that allows more pull.
Right.
So it seems like you're going faster if you're taller. And I'm like doing these workouts, and there's like guys that are for sure 6 feet, and I end up beating them in some of these like for time rowing, and I'm like,
damn, watch out.
That's so badass.
Yeah, that is badass. That's cool.
So I know you said rowing you hated. Which of the exercise that you did, or more than one, whatever you'd like to share, was your favorite, or the one that you had the most fun doing?
I would say probably the wall walks.
Wall
if you
walks.
can kind of envision, so there's a wall behind you, and you're laying flat on your stomach, your feet are touching the wall, and then you have to walk yourself up the wall, and then also you're in a handstand, but your nose has to touch the wall for it to count, and then you got to like gracefully walk yourself back up to the ground.
Wow, that sounds hard, but really cool at the same time.
Yeah. So
how was it the first time that you tried doing that?
It was tough. So there's like baby steps to these, where you know, you got to learn how to kick your feet up on the wall and kind of like do little like baby steps, but it takes like a lot of like motion in your hands to like balance yourself, because you're like, however tall you are, that's how far away you are from the wall, and then you gotta like, work with your feet and your muscles. And I think one of the like tricks that nobody really would know is that your core has so much to do with like a lot of these workouts. It's not always really mentioned, but like having your core like sturdy and tight would actually help you with a lot of the balancing, a lot of the lifting, and a lot of the like workouts that you end up doing. You don't always realize that you have to like engage your core to be able to do correctly, because the biggest thing of this is your form. Like, are you standing up straight? Are you using your back? Are you using your arms? Is it your legs? So it's cool to end up knowing that there's little tricks that you can do to like get yourself closer to your goal. And I think I'm really lucky, because the coach that we have in our class is like really good with like spending time with everybody to see, okay, are you standing up straight? Are you using all the correct body parts for this? Like, hey, you know what, actually I saw you doing this, try doing it this way. Like, very good at like actually coaching you through these movements, which is huge, because if you're not doing the correct movements, then you're never gonna, you know, get to your goals, because you're gonna end up hurting a muscle, or, you know, tearing something, and then people are discouraged from wanting to come back after the recovery time, or maybe they're scared. So that like the way you're moving is also huge, because that will allow you to get stronger, lift heavier, be able to do, you know, more endurance training. So it has also a lot to do with your coach too.
Yeah. And how much does nutrition play a role in like CrossFit, or your journey in CrossFit, or does it matter? You know, what do you think?
It's huge. Yep. It's definitely a relationship with food. And I've always struggled with it, because I love sugar, I love sweets, chocolate, all of that. But I had to like teach myself to like really cut down on sugar, eat healthier, especially in the mornings. I got into cold oats, because
like
of
the overnight.
Overnight cold oats. I really like that now. So I'll have that as a breakfast to like get me pumped up, because you can't be doing like HIIT workouts in CrossFit on an empty stomach or on a smoothie. That's not really good for you. There's even some people that end up fasting before a workout, which I'm like, I don't know how you do that, but like if you consider how much you're asking of your body, and if you really think that eating a smoothie and, you know, a very limited amount of calorie intake is going to get to your goals, it actually doesn't. One of the like another misconception is like, I have less calories, I'll lose weight. Sure, yes, that ultimately is a goal. But if you consider how much you're asking of your body to do all these workouts, there's people who end up needing over 2,000 calories, close to 3,000 calories to be able to function and to be able to do these workouts.
Right.
So because they're already using up all those calories for their workouts, they still need to replenish their body. So if you're one of those people that like don't like to eat or afraid of eating, or maybe have like, you know, something else going on, an unhealthy relationship with food, that would be something you'd have to address first before even considering into getting into, you know, any type of fitness journey, because food is your fuel, and it should be your friend, not someone you're afraid of.
Yeah, that's a great distinction to make, because thin doesn't equate healthy. And I think people tend to tie those two together, right? If you're thin, if you're skinny, it means you're healthy. And I don't think that's the case.
No,
And I think it really depends on your body and what your body needs, and and exactly how you said it, what you ask of it, right?
Yeah. And that goes back to your point, Estefania, saying how like just there's no one way to look to do CrossFit, or no one right body, going with just like in general, the just fitness, and how social media plays a role in a lot of this, especially like women in fitness, and like, oh, you're supposed to look this way, you're supposed to weigh this much, like you can't have too many muscles or whatever people say. So I think that I'm glad that you're saying what you're saying, that there is no one way to look. Just because you look a certain way doesn't mean you're not strong, or doesn't mean that you can't like build up your muscles and, you know, take care of your health, you know. And I think that's pretty cool that you are doing this for yourself, and that you're so strong and you're doing all these like badass workouts. So that's so cool to learn right now.
Yeah, thanks. It's really sad to see like all the posts that end up getting on social media about like, you know, how someone's supposed to look, and how, you know, if you're, like you just said, if you're thinner, that's a good thing. Well, not always, because you could also be really unhealthy and be thin. But I think it's everybody's body is different, and most people have heard this by now, but not all diets work for everybody. It's going to depend on your daily activity. It's going to depend on what type of exercise you do. It all has to do with yourself, and you can't look to other people and say, well, it worked for them, it should work for me. It doesn't work that way, actually.
Yeah,
very individualized, that's for sure. What would you say, what would be some practical tips to get people started? What would you advise beginners that are wanting to get into the CrossFit world?
Yeah. So I remember Sandy was on here a while ago talking about her marathons, and she was like super spot on when she said motivation gets you started, but discipline actually gets you to your goal.
Keeps you going.
Yeah, it keeps you going. So I think that's probably the first thing you have to like really deep down think about yourself. Am I disciplined? Because that's like the very first step. You can say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to start working out, I'm going to go. But how many of us actually said that to ourselves, went for like a week, went for a month, and you're like,
putting it myself.
Guilty.
So it's creating those healthy habits. And like I would even start with, depending on what your routine is for the day, is actually trying to stick to a routine for a couple of weeks. And, you know, whether it's if you're going early in the morning or going later at evening, just pick one of the two and just do it consistently. And that should at least start to get you disciplined to a point where you can consider like, okay, now I'm going to do this, work on, you know, getting stronger, work on my abilities. It's the discipline part that's probably going to be the hardest for people.
And even before getting into the actual training of it, I remember you said that you're not a morning person. Were your workouts early in the morning?
Yeah, so there's two classes. There's an evening class and a morning class. And I was never a morning person, so I went to 3 ones for a while.
And the reason I ask is because I think that like we can even peel it back to like the first step could be just waking up early. You know, get yourself get that habit built in that you need to wake up,
go to bed early.
But then again, your morning routine actually starts the night before, because you have to like set yourself up so that you can sleep, get enough sleep, get good quality sleep, so that you can wake up refreshed and energized to do whatever you have to do in your morning routine. So I think I don't know if you agree with this, but like there's small things that people can, like small steps that people can take so that it doesn't feel so daunting, maybe.
Yep. You're definitely right. Like being prepared, like just having that preparation from one day to the next. And it can be hard if you're someone that always kind of does things on the fly and super last minute to like really sit down and be like, okay. Like even for work, it's difficult because every now and then I have to go to the office. So like the night before I have to like, okay, I have all my clothes that I'm going to work out in, the night clothes I'm going to change into. Did I bring my deodorant, or what are my shoes? Like I got to make sure I have all this. I got to have my breakfast ready, my lunch ready. So you have to have all that prepared. So you do wake up in the morning and you're like, oh shoot, you could just like grab everything and go.
Set yourself up for success. I think that's a key.
Yeah. Yep. But I know there's this book I was reading on audio, and it like talks about like brain patterns and how when you're introducing a new pattern to your brain like wants to reject it automatically because it's already used to the pattern that you've had. So I think that's like another like really cool way to think about it is, you know, those brain patterns. Like what are we doing now to introduce this new pattern into your day that your brain is like automatically programmed to like reject or want to reject.
And that's why consistency is key here. That's why it doesn't take, it's not an overnight thing that you can just develop a new habit. Like, what do they say on average? It takes like 21 days or something. I think it depends, but on average, it takes a little bit to actually develop and form a habit.
Yeah, that's hard.
And it's hard to break them. It's hard to break a habit you already have. I feel like for me, that's the hardest thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like just hearing you both like talk about like setting these things, but actually just like listening to you and like Beans and our conversation in general, just like I think it's super important that you can have motivation, but discipline is like the number one thing, even though it's freaking hard. You don't want to get up, you're freaking tired, like you want to sleep in. So this is actually getting me motivated to actually go to the gym, because I legit have a gym in my building, like literally 3-4 feet across from my apartment, and I have not gone in a long time.
You're like,
right now, I know right now I'm making the commitment. I'm not going to post on social media or anything like that, but I'm going to make the commitment to myself to like, because I've been saying like, I want to prioritize my health, not even just like look wise. I just want to feel strong in my body. I want to feel like I have endurance and all these things. So I'm going to make this commitment to myself to go at least twice a week just for now. And
y'all heard it here first.
Maybe when you come back, we can check in and do something. But yeah. But I'm not going to like post this on social media or anything. This is just like between us and the people listening and watching this that know. And I'll probably give an update in the weeks coming up. But yeah, that's something I'm going to do for myself now.
You can do it.
I know. Yeah, you can. Part of those patterns too that I was reading in the book or listening in the book is like telling yourself like, I like waking up early. I like to do this. Like, even though you don't, and you know it's a lie, but your brain will like, your brain will believe whatever you're telling it. Like, you're forced to believe whatever you say out loud. So the more you say it out loud, the more you're trying to convince yourself of it, the easier the pattern will become.
Yeah, so. True. All right. Thanks. I'll give you an update. I'll text you.
Give yourself the pep talk every morning, Mish.
For real, I can do this. I like doing this.
You like going to the gym.
Yes.
So CrossFit obviously is a big part of your life. However, it's not the only thing you do. So I know you have a job, you have your house, your family, right? You have a daughter, you had a big project, a home project. You had a lot of things.
Goals.
You were an adult. You are an adult.
Hitting them goals.
Yeah. So how did you, I struggle with this, and I don't even have that many responsibilities. It's just me essentially. But like, how did you balance or are balancing your CrossFit journey, right? Training and all that kind of stuff and waking up early, while also, you know, going to work and doing everything you have to do for work and then for your family and then for yourself, right? How do you balance all of that?
it's definitely hard, and it's something where I've learned that priorities change week to week or month to month.
Okay. Yeah.
It helps for me. It helps that I actually don't have social media. I don't like utilize it on a regular basis. I don't have, an Instagram account, and my friend circle is very, very close. So I don't like you. You don't even live in Wisconsin, so I don't like get to see you very often.
Yeah.
There's not too many people else in Madison, so I think my social life has definitely like taken a toll.
Also with the pandemic, it's just been so
Yeah.
hard to connect with people.
Yeah. And I've like really learned to be Cindy, you use this word and I really like it, like intentional with like my days and with my time. And I think that like it can be very hard if you're a very social person and you have a lot of friends and you like to go places and you like to travel. Like I know we have a friend that like travels every week, and I'm like, that is amazing, but that would be that person's lifestyle.
Right.
Your goals are going to be different than that person's goals. So it's like, I think part of it is also going to be not comparing yourself to other people, because that right there is going to make you feel bad about yourself, and it's going to like diminish what your goals are and kind of like obstruct your own self from getting things done. So I try to really understand, like, this is my life, this is what I'm doing, this is the reasons that I'm doing. Everybody else is having an awesome time and you can see it and it's awesome, good for them. But like really trying to separate yourself from that feeling of like the FOMO, like, oh my God, now I could be doing this, I could be doing that. But then you remember your goals, you remember your progress. You're like, okay, no, it's worth it. But I mean, getting up early has definitely been super helpful to make sure I'm getting things done. And learning that like, there's some days where I honestly don't do anything at home. Like there'd be days where, I haven't cleaned, we haven't really picked up, we haven't really gone grocery shopping. We're kind of just like, getting eggs and cereal for food sometimes. So, and like, it's okay. Like, it's okay that it's not all put together. And I think that's like a really important point to make too, is that it's okay if you haven't gone grocery shopping and you've been eating cereal for like 3 days straight. Like,
pointing at me again.
Sandwiches for me.
Yeah, and but learning to balance it is like, there's going to be days where you just like in the morning tell yourself, this is what I'm going to accomplish today. These are my priorities for this day. I know that this other stuff hasn't been done in a while, but this is what needs to get done today. And I live like that day to day, where it's like, okay, today I have to do this. For example, mowing my lawn, it was starting to get embarrassing, and I was sure a neighbor was going to come up and like knock on my door and say, like, your lawnmower broken or something.
Wow, really? Oh my gosh.
And I say this because one of them did say this not that long ago.
To you?
Yeah, he was kind of joking, but kind of like serious, like, hey, because it's been a while, so I
didn't even know that was a thing people did.
I was just walking past by. And
girl, I don't know.
He's an older gentleman, so older people kind of get away with comments. Yeah, but jokingly, not jokingly, he was like, "You should cut your lawn."
Yeah.
So like last week, it was like 8:00 at night, and I'm like, I have to cut my lawn today. Like, sorry, it's a little bit late. I'm sure people, if they're sleeping at this point, that they're going to hear it, but it has to get done today. I'm not going to wait until the next time, So like, if like that morning, I told myself I'm going to cut the lawn no matter what time it is. So I did. It's like one of those like accountability things where that's what I said I'm going to do, so I'm actually going to do it.
Yeah, and with that, I've been the one oftentimes to set these goals for myself for the day, and then I don't meet them because I shoot really high, and I tell myself I'm gonna get all these things done, right? And then I don't, and then I just feel down and I feel less motivated, right? So like, again, I think it goes back to being intentional about and realistic about what can I do today. What are my priorities, right? So like, what is a must do? What is a can do if I have time, or like will do if I have time, or what is not a priority, right? Like, I think you can split it up that way so that you're not like, I have to get this giant ass list done. I have to get through all these things in one day. Sometimes it's not feasible. And sometimes too, like if you just have one goal, one small thing to do for the day, I think that's equally a win as if you were to get 10 things checked off your list.
Yeah. Do you both of you set up your goal list based off of work things, personal things, or like, how do you do that? You know what I mean? Is it like when you do these goals in the morning? Because I do my to-do list too. I feel like I generally only focus on work goals, like work things I need to get done. But then I start to notice that like everything else that needs to get done in my personal life, I leave to the weekend. And then I feel like, oh, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like I'm trying to do a better job at like also focusing and doing hitting personal goals or doing things that I just need to get done during the week too. So what do you both do with that when you wake up in the morning and say, this is stuff that I need to do?
I know for me, I split up my day. Like my work day is my work day. That's when I'm going to get my work stuff done. And if I didn't get something done then I'm sorry, it's going to have to go on to the next day. I try not to like mix and match my tasks throughout the day. So I don't like, I know there's a lot of people that if they work from home, they're like throwing stuff in the laundry when they work, they're like doing dishes, but that for me does not work because it gets me to like, it does not allow me to be focused on either item. So I have like the morning, like this is all work. That's what I'm going to do. And then my evening is for like other items that I have going on. So that's what I end up doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have the typical 9 to 5 job. Like every day is different for me. Sometimes I'll have gaps in between clients. Like it could be like 2-3 hour gaps. So I do kind of base my schedule or my to-do list around my work. And I tell myself, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to get these notes done. I'm going to get these reports done. But then I also try to be mindful to do something that I enjoy doing, even if it's just like watching a Netflix show or going for a walk or drinking tea, I don't know, whatever, reading. Just do one thing that I like that brings me joy each day, even if it's even during the week, you know, because I can't just be doing work Monday through Friday with no, I don't know. I just need to do something that will help me regulate so that I can be ready for the next day.
Yeah.
And then also with goals really quick, I think it's important to set like the systems, like the actionable steps you're going to take to get to your goal.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the goals are really vague or really big, but then if you don't figure out a plan of how to get to that goal, it can be really hard to reach that goal, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jaylena's in school. I think it's for her health class. They're actually talking about SMART goals.
Okay.
This is like a really good way to like look at your goals. Is I think it's like specific, measurable, attainable,
Is it
relatable,
relatable?
I think, or like how it relates. Like I can't remember, but like it does, like you said, helps you like set up those other steps to actually get you to your goal. Because a lot of people can say, oh, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to go exercise. Well,
But
that's
how?
a great goal, but how are you actually going to get there? What are you going to do to get from point A to point B? It's like, okay, set an alarm, you know, buy healthier food. Like it has to be those steps that are actually more important than your ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Because again, it goes back to being disciplined.
Exactly. And building the consistency and the habit and the process is, I think, much more important than the actual goal itself. And something that you and I, Michelle, talked about was earlier, this was off air, but we were talking about how stressed we are. And we're always like, once I get this done, I'm going to be less stressed. Right. But that's not the case. Right. So like with goals, you say, oh, once I reach this goal weight, or once I lift this amount of pounds or whatever, then I'm set. Like I'm good. I reached my goal. But I mean, you can still reach higher, right? You can still keep going, and you can be happy with the process and not just rely on reaching your goal to be satisfied.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree. Yeah. I think, just reworking, I think in my head, just like, you met this goal, like actually like celebrate it, like take some time to like be proud of yourself or whatever. And I also think it's a productivity thing and how we view productivity and success culturally here. I think that we're always looking to do better and better and better, which is good, but at the same time it can be detrimental and we're overworking ourselves sometimes. So that's just something to keep in mind, and to just celebrate all of your wins, even if they are small.
Yeah, I've heard like a quote. It's like fall in love with the process, not the goal.
Right.
Because that's the process that you're doing to get to your goal is really your, I guess, ultimately your goal if you really think about it, because you're doing something different to obtain, a goal that you had in mind.
Right.
that you probably weren't doing before.
Right.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to reach it if you don't go through that process.
Mhm.
So I think that's the key. That's the most important part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a great way to end this really wonderful conversation. We appreciate you for
Thank you.
sharing your experience, for sharing space with us and time with us, and joining us for a second time. Obviously, we want you
Yeah.
back multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this isn't your last time with us, but
Nope.
we sincerely appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
For
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. For everybody who's listening and supporting, thank you all for reaching all the way to the end. Like, subscribe,
Comment below your favorite part.
Share.
Yeah.
Share. How do you reach your goals? How do you set goals? Are you a morning or a night shower? What's your hidden talent? Let us know.
Give us a thumbs up.
Wow. A thumbs up like this. Button. A thumbs up like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for real, yeah, we appreciate it. And hopefully whoever listened to this took something out of it. If anything, to just be intentional for yourself.
Yes.
And that's all we can really do. And not compare ourselves. I like that you said that. Don't compare ourselves to other people. Because it's really hard, especially with social media. And I have social media and I'm trying to cut back on it, but it's really like I just can't help it. Sometimes we just compare ourselves, and it's not always a good feeling.
Thank you. That was it.
That
was a good conversation.
Yep. Yeah, let us know, comment down below, and we're gonna keep it going, bring you some more content each week. And thank you for joining, and we'll catch you at the next one.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.